Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Beginners Online Trading webinar. My name is Danny and I will give you the webinar today. Before we will begin, as always, I would like us to go through a quick sound check. If you can please use the comment section, the question section to comment that the sound is okay, and then hopefully we can begin. Okay, if more people can comment that the sound that they can hear me and you can see the chart, that will be great. Just so I'll know that we have no issues with the sound. Okay, thank you, Daniel. Very good, very good. I hope that everybody else can hear me properly. Okay, then, so we are going to begin. I will explain what will happen in the webinar, how we are going to do it, what will happen in every step. So initially, like I said, my name is Danny. This is the online Beginners Online Trading webinar. Maybe it's called a Beginner Online Trading webinar, but we're going to obviously learn things that are useful for intermediate and advanced as well. Okay, so initially we'll have a nice introduction to the company, what services we have, how can we assist you along your journey. Secondly, we will go through basic fundamentals such as buy and sell and some things here in the interface. And lastly, we're going to cover analysis just on a nutshell to understand the basics of support and resistance. Okay, so to begin, one more thing. Any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or suggestion. Now, it may be that things are not going to be clear on the first time that I will explain them, which is fine because the webinar is recorded. Okay, we're having it live, but later on it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Okay, so you can watch it in your own time as many times as you want. Yeah, let me just make sure that the webinar is recorded as it's supposed to be, so we'll know that everything is perfect, and then we can hit the road. So I'll be right back. Thank you very much. Okay, it seems like everything is okay, right? At least I hope so. That's what the system shows me, and we can finally begin. I'm just gonna get myself a nice place to write down a couple of things, and I suggest you maybe want to do the same. Okay, and like I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open with a nice introduction to the company. As many of you know, we exist since 2006. We're a regulated company. We have 9 licenses worldwide. Okay, our customer service is right here at the bottom left in case you have a question or a query. If it doesn't look this way, I'm just going to tell you that to get to here, all you have to do is just to log in with your email and password. You don't need to download anything. You don't need to install anything. That's how it's supposed to look as soon as you log in with your email and password. Okay, and if it doesn't look this way, you can contact the customer service through their email. Okay, and ask them to apply on your account. There is another, this is regarding the customer service inquiries and questions and the account and information, and the senior account manager is covering the other end, okay, with any queries regarding to trading. So we have the customer service to assist you with customer service and a senior account manager to assist you with trading. Oftenly, our senior account managers are also traders, which makes them very, very knowledgeable about everything related to even a strategy, trading plan, certain risk money management, everything really that comes down to trading can be provided from our senior account manager. Okay, you can get the assignment with a senior account manager as soon as you funded your account and you're starting to move. Okay, now, as I have explained, this interface is called WebTrader. It doesn't need to download or anything to access it. Okay, we also have the traditional ones, so MT4 and MT5. I guess there's some people here in the audience that are familiar with those names. We also have the Ava Social and the Ava Options. Now, Ava Social is a social media trading app. What it does is it lets you follow other traders, follow or copy, right? follow, just a second, follow or copy. Now this is extremely useful whether you're a beginner or not. Okay, the reason is it allows you to test a strategy without even using a strategy. Now what do I mean by that? Let's suppose that I'm not sure what I'm planning to do because I'm a beginner. Okay, so what AvaSocial allows me to do is to follow another trader that might be more experienced than I am. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to get the position that he is taking. I'm not going to execute my position on my account. And first, when I'm following somebody, I'm just going to get a notification with the trade, and it's up to me if I'm going to take it or not. And then I can obviously run my own strategy and make the adjustments that I want, following somebody else, standing aside and choosing what I want. Copy from the other end is that it will execute automatically. So if I'm following somebody, I'm going to get notifications with its trades, and it's up to me if to execute them or not. Copy means that I'm going to get my trader's position, and it will be executed automatically. Okay, that's the difference. Either way, I can adjust my whoever I'm following or I'm copying, and I can change my mind later on. It's not difficult at all, and the app itself doesn't cost anything, so I highly recommend you to try. Other options is we're not going to teach you to trade options now. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that if you're trading options or you thought about trading options just to expand your horizon or any other reason, so other options might be very advisable for you to try. Okay, I think we pretty much concluded the platforms that we have. I do want to cover a couple of features we have here in the interface. Let's see with which one I want to begin with. I think we didn't use this one for a long time. Didn't show you that. But I want to show you the new things. Okay, so we're just going to cover quickly the things here at the left hand side, and if we'll have spare time, we're going to cover Overprotect as well. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is obviously on the only on the WebTrader or the AvaGo. You're not going to find what I'm going to show you on MT4 and MT5. Okay, and what I'm going to begin with is actually the signal sections. So as you can see, there is a tiny lightning blue icon here. Okay, if I click it, it's going to open some information about technical analysis for this asset. Okay, when we're analyzing, there are two kinds of analysis. We have technical analysis, and we have fundamental analysis. Okay, now the way that this works is technical analysis is what is in the chart, fundamental analysis is what not in the chart. Okay, so that can be news, events, whatever you want to name it, any occurrences that has impact on the market is considered fundamental analysis. And technical analysis is the information from inside the chart. So that means averages, support and resistance, as you can see, they're mentioned here, certain levels, pivot points, and so on, statistics. Okay, now, how does this signal is any help? Let me show it to you again. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. I don't know if you can see the toggle here. Right, there's a blue toggle, but I'm just scrolling down. I could scroll down instead of clicking on the toggle. And then what I'm going to do, as soon as I choose, I'm going to show you also that you can access it from the signal section itself. It might have a bit different. It might be a little different when you're choosing the signal, because from here to know when the signal was produced and if it's valid or not, actually you can know if it's valid or not because there's some assets without the blue lightning icon, and then you know it doesn't have a signal, right? It could be anything else. It doesn't need to be currencies only. See, silver doesn't have it. Let's see. Heating oil, gasoline doesn't have it. Some assets don't have it. But when you're going to the signal section itself, you're going to see all the assets by their production date, and then you can choose from the oldest to the recent. And it does have certain importancy, okay, when the signal was produced. The reason is when the signal is produced, it's produced upon a certain price, and in a minute I will explain what are stop loss and take profit and how they're handy with trading, but I'm just going to tell you that it has a certain importancy when the signal was produced, and it also has an impact on your ratio between how much you can gain to how much you can lose. Okay, this is why certain cases like this doesn't have, the signal is no longer valid. Okay, it has passed a certain level. You see, the market has already reached a key level. So that means that when the signal was produced, it was estimated to reach to a certain level, and it's already got there. Okay, so it's not viable anymore. Okay, now let's take I think FTSE might be, yeah, let's use the FTSE. Okay, so we're clicking here on the view signal, right? We're expanding the chart. We want to see it all the way up. We're going to make sure that the date here, the validity is daily. That means we're going to change to daily as well. Okay, and now we're going to see similar, we can see the whole picture with the current levels, and we can place them. This is not mandatory, by the way, what I'm doing. Okay, keep in mind, it's just because I want those lines to be visible. You absolutely don't have to do what I do, but as I said before, the signal was produced upon a certain price, and I want to know that it's still useful. I see that this became lower for me to mark, this 7456. Okay, it's approximately here. We're not going to place it, it's too close. Okay, now the signal already marked the support and resistance by itself, right? So resistance will be my higher edge points. Could be this. Oh, there we go. Could be where else? This is pretty much the same levels, maybe here, right? Okay, so those are resistance levels. You can see certain levels. You can find them in any time frame, to be honest. And those are my support lines. Okay, where else? Here, it's also a nice support line. It's already marked by the signal. Okay, so what the signal is doing is it's actually simplifying those lines for me, and it's telling me automatically that as soon as I choose my scenario, I have two scenarios, right? Oh, what did I do? Just a second. Okay. So we have two scenarios. We have buy and sell. Let's suppose we're looking at the FTSE. FTSE seems positive after it plunged quite considerably. Let's see how much. It plunged from 7553 to 7431. It's a little more than $100 down. Okay, and then it went back up. We are looking at days, so that means that this happened yesterday and that happened just this morning. Okay, and if I want to be more specific, I can change and see what was the momentum and how long it took it to get there and so on. Right, and this signal, what it does, okay, very, very simple. I'm just going to choose here based on support and resistance, buy or sell scenario. You see that it's already marked, right? We have the pivot point here, the last key that it reached, and I'm just gonna choose. I'm just gonna choose, let's assume we think it's gonna carry on a little higher. So we're gonna click on buy. Right here we have 0.2, that comes down to 20 share, 20, let's see, if the lot is 1, it's a nice way on checking it. So we have 10 shares. If we have this much, we have just 10% of it. Okay, so let's suppose we're gonna go with 0.1. And then I see, okay, if it goes, this is why, by the way, I was checking support and resistance, right? As you can see, if I'm with the buy scenario, then my profit could be 22 quid and 107 can be my potential loss. Now, we are not going to discuss the risk reward ratio, but I'm just going to tell you that for people who are more advanced, more experienced, this might not make sense. Okay, potential gain $23, potential loss 107. Yeah, it's a ratio, negative ratio of 1 to 5. All right, so what can we do? We can either adjust this, or we can understand that the sell scenario might be more attractive. So if I click on sell, suddenly that's the opposite, and then I can make 200 quid, and I can, oh, jumped back to 0.2, and then it's the opposite, and so on. So just make sure that before you're taking the position, you can do those checks, and you can make sure that the position is as you expect, that it's well composed, as I have explained. Okay, if I want to get, I'm just gonna teach you a nice trick. So if I'm gonna clean the slate here, and I don't want to go one by one and get rid of, right, toss them to the trash. So I could just click here on the tiny arrow, click clear drawing, everything is gone. Right. Any questions, guys? Any questions till this point? Something regarding signals or anything that I said? Any questions, guys? Okay, we have a question from Clara. What do you recommend to begin with? I'm not sure, Clara, that I understand your question. What do you refer? What do you mean by what I suggest to begin with? Which signal, or if you can elaborate, that will be great. FTSE okay to begin with. It's not my job to tell you if FTSE is an asset advisable to begin with, okay? But let's get to that. Let's get to that. I think we're not there yet, okay? If you can be a little, is this too fast? It is too fast for a beginner. Coming from Placido. So, okay, Placido, I understand what you're saying. If it's too fast, so I'll try and slow down. I'm just going to show you how simple that is, right, Placido, just so you'll know that this is extremely simple. Look, I'm clicking it. Let's go back to the beginning. Right, so I'm just clicking on the signal section. That's one time. I'm just clicking on the FTSE, and I'm going to click sell or buy, and I'm done. Scenario is here. Okay, those settings that I've explained about, those settings you can review later on in your free time on our recorded version, because I don't want to burn our time on the signals. I mean, I understand it might be a little too swift, but I have to proceed and teach you what I've been, okay, what I have to. So you'll know other things as well. Regarding indicators, I would like to have William Fractal on the web trailer. Just a second. That's actually a good question. Just a second. I'm not sure. Is there anything, Sergio, specifically from Fractal's indicator that you would like me to put on? Maybe we'll check it later on. We're not there yet. So guys, I really appreciate your questions, but let me get there. Let's first wrap this first part, and then we can keep on. So as I said initially, there are two kinds of analysis. I showed you technical analysis, right? But now I'm going to show you something that is helpful with fundamental analysis. I have no audio. Sound. Okay. Walid, you're complaining that you don't have any sound. Guys, anybody else feel that my voice is missing or it's low volume? Maybe the issue is on your end, because I haven't received any complaints. Smooth. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Walid. I don't see. Oh, right. You don't have any sound, so you're not gonna know. You're not gonna know if I what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna type to you, I guess. Check your volume settings. Perhaps I'm just guessing here. I'm not really a technician or anything. Right, so let's just proceed. We said technical analysis is from the signals. Great. We also need to know how to do fundamental analysis. And for that, we have another section that is called news. So I'm just going to click on the news. And I'm going to see here different categories: Forex, stocks, commodities, indices, and cryptos. Underneath, if I scroll down, I can also find here what it's related to. And then if I click it, it's going to show me, okay, this is the pound versus the dollar. This is the euro versus the dollar. And I know that this article here maybe have an impact on one of those pairs or both. Okay. Same apply with Asian indices. Okay. And with, okay, oil, it's only oil by itself. What about, okay. Right, I can't recall any other articles that has parallel impact. Never mind. Let's carry on. So you understand the idea here, right? I mean, it's quite simple. Is it possible to put a trailing stop on the web trader or only MT4 and MT5? You can do it manually, Sergio, but not that I am aware of as a function, if it makes sense. You can keep track with your stop loss towards your winning price, but you have to do it manually. You can adjust it as far as I'm concerned, but not automatically. Okay, now if I go a little down, okay, to the discovery here, see this globe icon here? There is economic calendar. And this is another wonderful way to capture a fundamental analysis, right? So what we can do is we're going to go down to here and we're going to click on all countries. Need trading on Bitcoin. How much does it? But I think Andy, okay, I'm just gonna go through your questions so the audience will know what you're asking. You want to be trained with Bitcoin, right? To know how to trade Bitcoin. And you're asking how much does it cost? As I've explained in the beginning, our senior account managers, they can provide you with assistance through the process. They can also teach you how to trade. We don't charge for that, but you need to know that you're eligible. So what I suggest is you make a deposit, you carry on with ease, you ask for assignment, either from the customer service or your senior account manager will contact you, and then you carry on with it. Okay. Now, great. So yeah. So good luck. I hope you'll get a wonderful account manager. Okay. We're just gonna. I hope that it helped my question, my answer. So as I was about to explain, as you can see, the economic calendar is super simple. We're going to choose the date that we want. So let's say this year is an example. Okay, we're going to go to what's happening in the next, maybe what's happening today. Could be, yeah. I can also choose what's happening from today till here, right? And then it's going to show me all of the events. But if I want to be specific and I want to, let's say I'm not interested in all of that, right? Let's suppose I'm only following the dollar and the pound, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on all countries, and then I'm going to click here on, can you assign an account manager for me? No, Andy, I'm an educator. I mean, I wish I could do that, right? But I'm an educator. I'm not responsible on the account manager, not at all. You can just kindly go to here. You see our wonderful customer service. You ask, can I get please an account manager? And it should be just fine. I'm sorry that I couldn't do it. Anyway, as I was explaining, so this is super simple, guys. Let's suppose I'm just following the dollar and the pound, okay? So I'm clicking here at US and I'm clicking here at UK, and it's going to show me only the events related to that. Furthermore, if I'm not interested in those little events, that doesn't have a lot of importance, okay? Not that I'm judging or anything, but this is low, right? We have medium and high. So I can just comfortably click here on the high and it's going to show me only high importance. What else can I show you on the economic calendar? Oh, let me explain to you the structure of how it's presented. So this is what happened last time, right? This is what we expect to happen, and this is what actually happened. For those who analyzed before, basically you're not going to see the actual unless the occurrences already happened, right? That's it makes sense, but I hope that it's understood. Okay, so if I want to look for something specific, right? So I can put here, let's go for the NFP, right? Even though we had it last week. You see, so I put here farm. Right away, I see non-farming payroll. Okay, I think, are there any questions? Any questions about the economic calendar? Any questions? Even, do we have questions in general? Because I think we pretty much concluded the first part and we can get down to business. Do we have any questions about anything that I said so far, guys? Teach. How long? This is pretty good. This is we have a question here from Julia. How long does it take to learn how to trade? It's not something that I can capture in exact, because to learn how to trade, it's you already, yeah, you'll learn, guys. I completely understand your questions and your concerns, and that's completely fine, but you should know that to learn how to trade, the definition to learn how to trade is different for everyone, right? I mean, maybe to learn how to trade is to become to make $10,000 a month. Maybe learn how to trade is enough just to make a few bucks. Consistency, right? So you don't need to know everything. You just need to know what you need to know to make money with and to keep on evolving. That's my own personal opinion. Unfortunately, Julia, I don't have a way to capture how long that it takes, but it could take maybe a week, a few weeks. That depends on you, how much time you can attend to it, right? If I go to the gym once a month, will I get in shape? I'm not sure, right? That depends on the time, that depends on the program. I hope the same thing that I said to Andy, right? Get yourself a senior account manager, put down a plan and do it by the book, and just Give yourself time. There's no need to rush. Okay. So, any more questions? But thank you very much. It was an excellent question. There is. I'd rather just leave it to the account manager. I don't want to get down to details. Okay, so let's carry on. Let's carry on to the second part. Okay, I'm just going to show you now several things that I think can be very, very useful. We're just gonna. There is a question here. Is levels of importance low, mid, and high as well period of event brought into factor in applying buying itself? This is an excellent question, Munir. Look, high usually it's not a formula, right? You can see an event that it's written high impact, and it's not going to make the market fluctuate as much, right? Not oftenly happened, but I was late. Is there a recording? Yes, Chris. Absolutely, there is a recording. You've got nothing to worry about. It will be uploaded to YouTube later on, hopefully even today. Where was I? Right. So Munir, you're asking if it will happen this way. I don't know. Okay. Usually, what's written high impact does make the market fluctuate, but we cannot be too sure. You can have medium impact and the market is going to fluctuate like crazy. You can have a high impact, but it's not going to fluctuate as much. It's based on statistics. But thank you for the question, and just try and see. A question here from Cyprian. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm a complete beginner. If I choose to follow someone, we'll have explanations of what he has done and why. So to use that as a trading tool? No. No. I'm gonna thank you for your question, but no, it doesn't work this way. When you're following somebody, you're just gonna get his positions and that's it. He's not gonna interact with you to a point when he's explaining you. That's what we have an account manager for. We have an account manager, guys, for all those things that you ask me to interpretate for you and to make it accessible. Okay, the person that you're following from Ava Social, I think you can leave a comment, but you're not going to interact him to a point that he's teaching you how to trade. No, that's not. But thank you for the question, though. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions, guys? No, I think we can carry on with ease. Okay. Any specific assets? Any specific asset you guys want me to analyze, or I shall pick here from the list? Let's see what we have. Let's see how the platinum is doing. Pretty interesting, I guess. Oh, we already have things on it. That's nice. Maybe I've been looking at it. Okay. Omar asking me to look at oil. Okay. Anybody else wants me to look at oil? I mean, for me, it doesn't make a lot of difference. I'm in platinum now. Can you do oil, please? Yes. Okay. So Alex, you want oil as well? Anybody beside Omar and Alex want crude oil? Or I'm just gonna. Okay. You know what? Why not? I guess crude oil does. Let's see. Yeah. Pretty much. Why not? Okay, let's stay with this. So the way that we're gonna do it is we're gonna put down first crude oil, so we will know that this is the asset that we're analyzing, right, and nothing else. The way that I have opened, okay, let me first, I'll give you a guide through and then we'll carry on with ease. Here, where you saw that I've put down CL, this is the search bar. It doesn't look like a search bar sometimes. It just looks like there is an asset here. So unless you're going to click it, you're not going to know. Okay, so you can click it, delete it, and put CL for crude oil, and it will appear. Okay, I've picked it from the list. If I keep going to the right, we have here the time frames. Again, there is a tiny toggle here, which you can click and drag. And if you don't want to, you can just scroll up and down with your wheel, the wheel in your crosshair. Keep going to the right, we have the different candlesticks. Okay, bar, candle, and line. Okay, so if I'm going to click on line, that Placido, I understand that you don't understand anything, and that's completely fine because I didn't teach anything so far. I'm just going through the things, and when I will explain, in each time that I'm going to put a new definition, it will be explained. Don't worry, really. Don't worry. Okay, here I'm just changing the candles. Clicking here, I can change the crosshair. So first thing I want to do is just to know what those candles are doing, right? I mean, pointing on them now doesn't give me anything. So I have to change the crosshair. I keep going to the right. Okay, and then I click here on the crosshair and I have information presented here on the bubbly thing, right? See that tiny square here, rectangle maybe? Okay, here I can have two assets in parallel. I just split the screen. You see I have many different layouts. Let's bring it back for now. Okay, here we have indicators. Let's take, if I want to stay, let's say I want to go with Bollinger Bands. Gonna click, drag it, and click save. Click save. Click save. There we go. Okay. Settings are a little aggressive, but never mind. Okay, so this is how it goes. Oh, the lines that I always put on the chart. Let me get rid of it. They are here. This is not really visible for everyone, but if I click here on the tiny arrow, I have a lot of things that I can place on the chart that allows me to remember certain levels, right? So you see, I'm not doing anything special. Just click and place, right? Now, the way that this works is I can place them on the chart. I can either get rid of them one by one, okay? Or I can get rid of them as I showed all at once. Yeah, like that, okay? Yeah, I think this is pretty much the guide through that I wanted to go through. Okay, and we are having crude oil, and we're gonna write down TTMU, right? What does TTMU stands for? Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have target, time, movements, and units. Okay, and we're gonna put here a nice equation that will, in advance, we already know that it's gonna help us. Okay, right, so let's suppose that I think this, for some reason, I find that is a nice pivot point. Okay, and I believe that oil has another $2 up. Let's suppose, okay, or maybe $1 up. $1, yes, $1 I think might be enough. And $1 down, that's approximately here. Okay, I think this picture, This picture is missing something. Let's try days. That's much better. Okay. Right. So when I'm looking at this situation, and I think still that this is a buy, and my reason to believe that this is still a buy, where's my trend line? Okay, is this nice bullish trend that keeps on going. Okay, this might be a little reason for concern because the buyers couldn't take over the sellers in this point, and it couldn't get to the resistance. But let's assume we think still that it can keep going up. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set myself a target. So if I buy and I was right and it goes up, I know when to close the position. Now, let's suppose that I go with a bare minimum and I take a buy and it goes up, okay? And it goes up to 78, just $1 up, right? Okay, is that a good price for me to close the position? Well, not really, because I'm not happy with $85. I want to make something more substantial. 10,000 in my account, 85 is not really enough for me. Let's suppose we're going to go with $1,000, right? Okay, say $1,000. I also need to schedule the time length because now I'm analyzing days. Maybe I don't want to make $1,000 daily. I understand it might be a little ambitious, right? I'm willing to give it a whole week. 1 week, right? Now, why is that important for me to know during what time I make my money? $1,000, what do I care if I make it in a week, in a year, or in an hour? Okay. One thing that I have to understand, the faster I'll want to make my money, okay, the smaller time frame I'll have to analyze and the market will move faster. In other words, if for instance I'm looking at, let me show you just a second, 5 minutes candle, maybe even 1 minute candle, right? So this, since we started the webinar, where was it? This is where we started. Oh, a little bit. There we go. You see what happened, right? You see what happened in the beginning. It went up, it went down. It went up, now it's bearish, right? Now it's bullish. This is smaller time frames. When I'm analyzing days, it looks very different, right? Look how many days it went up. It was bullish. Here it was bearish, here it was bearish, but the overall trend is bullish, right? So I need to remember that the faster I'll want to make my money, sometimes it's more challenging. If I want to make it in a week or in a day, it might be easier than, but this is my own personal interpretation. I might be wrong. People trading minutes, making huge amount of money. Okay, it could be, it could be. Now, when I'm looking at days, it makes sense to me that $1,000 can be made in a week. I still can't be too sure, but let's see if it makes sense or not. But in a week, I know that if I make $1,000 in a week, that comes down in a month to $4,000. And to be honest, $4,000 not gonna get me rich, but it's also not bad, right? Even if I'm a beginner, even if I'm not a beginner. Now, how can we know the movements? Okay, so Danny, how are you gonna know how much oil is gonna move per day, right? Now you have to go each and every day and measure the length and look at the distance. Okay, this yesterday, let's see, open was, let's try it, right? We're gonna put down this. This is the candle from yesterday. Okay, we're gonna point on it and we're gonna put down its levels. Okay, so we have open, close, high and lows. Guys, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just looking at the candle from yesterday, right? You see this guy here, right? The 13th. Okay. And I'm gonna write down what it says here. 76.96, 77.77, high is 78.46, and low is 76.86. Perfect. Now we're gonna simply subtract the differences because we want to know how much it moved yesterday. Therefore, 76.6 minus 77.77, that's less than $1. Okay, and the difference between high and low is okay, but by doing that, I just analyzed one candle. Guys, do you think that one candle is enough? Not sure, not sure at all. Now, Alex, you asked how long it takes to learn how to trade, right? When you understand this general concept of what I'm explaining you now, you're halfway towards your success. The reason is, when you compose a position this way, you know exactly where you're standing, what can be the potential outcome in terms of not if you're going to make money or lose money, but you can know what to expect, what can be the potential profit and the potential loss, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Now, the first thing to begin with is to find the movements here, right? We have the target, we have the time, very well, okay, no problem. We need to know how much oil can move, because if I aim to here, right, and I think I want to make a lot of money and I want oil to get to 90 per barrel. I'm going to put my take profit at 90 per barrel. If I have one lot, I can make a lot of money, isn't it? But when I'm looking statistically and when was the last time at 90, I'm placing here timeline, I see that that was on October. That was last year. It wasn't yesterday, it wasn't 2 days ago, it wasn't even weeks ago, it was on October. So if I'm planning to make this $1,000 in a week, it wasn't a week ago. Statistically, it doesn't take a week to get to this price. It takes few months. Okay, so I took the extreme version to show you guys that it needs to be realistic. Now, I'm going to tell you that one candle is insufficient to determine the tendency of how much the asset can move, right? So for that, we can add an indicator, okay, that is called ATR, that is average true range. We're simply going to click in here, and we're going to click in here. We're going to put AVE for average, and then we're going to see average true range. So I'm going to click it and drag it to the box, and then we're going to make sure that I'm on wielders. The length is 14 candles and 1 ATR PX. Okay, and in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click save, and we're going to see that oil has tendency to move 1.4260 per day. And I know that the 90 that I wanted, just a second, that the 90 that I wanted, is it in the range, guys? $90. Look, oh, I too quickly. Never mind. You guys can see how far away is that, right? So if I'll know that 1.4 is the range, the number that I picked here, let's paint it green, right? This one we're gonna paint it red, right? Okay. The green price, is it in the range or out of the range, guys? 78.70, right? It's $1 away. Is it in the range? Let me just put here ATR equals 1.4260, right? Yeah, target equals $1.0 away. Is that in my range? Guys, what do you think? Is it in my range or not? $1. Is it in the range of 1.4? Must be in the range. Thank you, Alex. And Cyprian. In the range. Great. So I know that it's realistic. I know that it might get there. Perfect. I'm going to put here $1. Okay, and I'm going to put in the units. Okay, so I have an equation here. Let's see. Target divided by movements equal units. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to try that. Let's see. 1,000 is the target, right? Target means 1,000. Okay. Equals by $1 equals 1,000. Okay. Okay, let's see. So that means hypothetically, if I have 1,000 units, apparently one lot is 1,000 units, and it goes up to 78.70, they should make $1,000. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's try the same formula for the other side. So 77.7 to 76.7. Okay then. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So we have just a second. Let me begin with. Okay. Take profit. That's not bad. And stop loss, that's not bad at all. That one can give us $1,000 plus. And that's unfortunately if it goes down minus. Okay. Which brings me to the next thing that I'm going to. Is there anything you would like to ask so far? I hope that Alex, how do you feel? Is this any helpful? Who else? Munir, Andy, you guys feel that it clarifies a little bit your overview about the market? You guys feeling a little better now knowing that? This is a great tool to know what to expect. This way you know what can be your potential profit, your potential loss, and thanks to the ATR, you can also know if the price that you're aiming for is realistic or not, right? And the beauty about that is you can also change it to the weekly webinar, right? The weekly ATR, and then it's going to give it to you weekly. You don't have to use it only one day. Solomon, you're asking, can we get a link to watch the webinar again? Yeah, I think you can just find it on YouTube by yourself. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, guys, so as I said, this brings me to my next risk reward. Okay, we have risk money management. Okay, and one more thing that I want to cover before I'm getting to that. When you're perfect, are you able to do another example? Unfortunately, no, dear Munir. I don't have time for that. In 5 minutes, we have to finish, and I still want to show you how to make this. So I want to explain to you about the leverage, so this would make sense. Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick tip how to adjust your stop loss or take profit. Okay, so let's suppose that I'm not happy with this 10% because I'm looking at 1,000 and 1,000. And this doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to wipe out $1,000 out of my 10,000, right? 10% might be too much for me. So how can I adjust 10%? How can I adjust 10% to 5%? All I have to do, to be honest, just to minimize this by $0.50, and how is this possible? Yeah. And then I'm good. So I just move my stop loss a little higher and it does the job. Now, if I don't want to do it, the next thing that I can do, just to minimize the lot size, but then I'll have it will have an impact on my, just a second, I'm gonna paint it around. And then if I reduce the lot size, it will also have an impact on my profit. Now, what I wanted to tell you before we say goodbye, is there a volume indicator in the platform? Volume indicator for what purpose, Omar? If you can explain to me, maybe I have an alternative. Okay, so how does this work, delivered and everything? So we're gonna put here several things. We're gonna put the price per unit. Then we're gonna put the number of units. And then we're gonna put here the value, leverage, and margin impact. So the price per unit is, just a second, guys. Price per unit is 77.81. Number of units in this case is 1,000. The value comes down to 8,830. How can I know? Because the value is units multiplied by price per unit multiply by number of units. The leverage multiplies buying and selling, okay, by 10. And the margin impact is, just a second, value divided by leverage equals leverage equals margin impact or requirement. Right, so how is this any help? Because the margin impact equals necessary amount to open a position. Okay, now you know how much money you need to open the position, not how much money, I'm sorry, how much margin. Now, what's the difference between money and margin? Danny, you have $10,000 and you have $10,000 in balance. So what's the difference? Who knows what's the difference? What's the difference between money and margin? Because they are the same. From what I see here, they are the same, right? So margin is my interpretation of my balance versus the leverage. If my leverage is 1 to 10, my buying power for this particular asset will be 10 times higher. So my balance may be 10,000 that I can buy 10 times more. If my leverage, let me show you if I can, hopefully I can quickly, right. So if with gold, my leverage is 1 to 20, I can buy, not only buy, I can buy or sell 20 times as much. Okay, this is why I also divide the value by my leverage. So it's not always by 10, sometimes it's by 20, sometimes it's by, just a second, I want to show you quickly, right, sometimes it's 1 by 5, so I need more margin. In this case, I need 20% as my margin, right? Okay, guys, unfortunately, with as much as I want to carry on and teach you more, we are done for today, but you are more than welcome to see the recorded version. And that's it. I wish you best of luck. Tomorrow we're going to have the live Q&A. You are all welcome to join us. Thank you for the audience for helping me with such wonderful questions. I hope that I could answer everything to your satisfaction. And that's it. Best of luck with your trading. Make a lot of money with pleasure. With pleasure. It's exactly why we're doing it, to help you guys. Anyway, best of luck. Look after yourself and have a good day.